violence and an explosion if it doesn't come down the way he wants. He'll join us next.
The problem that I'm having, and the problem that a lot of people are having, is in a case like this, we would rather talk about anything else other than the facts.
Remember the Los Angeles riots after the police officers who beat up Rodney King were let free? The city of New York is waiting breathlessly tonight in anticipation of a decision that people fear could possibly plunge the city into violence. A grand jury is currently deciding whether or not to charge 5 police officers with the November shooting of 23-year-old Sean Bell outside of a Queens nightclub. Police fired 50 shots at Bell after his car ran into an unmarked police vehicle. For 2 months, the grand jury of 23 men and women have heard testimony from more than 60 witnesses. Some city leaders, like Councilman Charles Barron, have threatened, it is claimed, violence if, in their eyes, justice is not done.
First, I am fed up. I'm not asking my people to do anything passive anymore. We're going to sit here and we're going to go in there, we're going to pray, we're going to march, we're going to do all of that stuff, and then we're going to sit down, and if they don't respond to none of that, don't ask us to ask our people to be peaceful while they are being murdered. We're not the only ones that can bleed.
Councilman Charles Barron joins us once again tonight, along with former LAPD detective and Fox News contributor Mark Furman. Charles, can you understand how what we just played people could misinterpret and say, you know what, you're not going to tell the people who look up to you, calm down, be peaceful?
No, I'm not going to tell them to calm down. I'm going to tell them to fight for justice. They have a right
Physical fight, violence?
Fight for justice.
Physically?
Fight for justice.
Tell me what you mean by fight.
Any means necessary.
So be physically violent.
Fight for justice.
Wait a minute. When you use the phrase like any means necessary, you're talking about violence.
I'm saying defend yourself. If the system doesn't want to protect us, then we have no choice. What about if it was your people dying the way we're dying? And the mayor's talking about all of these police to protect us. 50 shots, no violence.
Look, I
Wait a minute.
Look.
41 bullets for Amadou, no violence.
I understand. Look.
A stick up our rectum for Abner Louima, no violence.
Right.
We're the most restrained people in the city.
All right, I understand.
We need protection from the police.
I agree with you on
Why don't you
Louima?
talk to the police about violence?
I agree with you on Bell.
I have never let anything violent. Our
question,
people
Charles.
haven't been violent. The only people that have been violent was the police upon us.
All right, don't you have a responsibility as a city leader?
Don't you have a responsibility
to say, let's not have any violence, regardless of the outcome of this trial?
The mayor has a responsibility to say, police officers, stop killing black people with impunity. Stop sticking sticks up our rectum. Stop shooting Timothy Stansberry. The responsibility is on the police.
Let me go to Mark Furman and get him in here.
On the police.
Mark, this is also what Mr. Barron here, and I'll get to him in a second.
Mark Furman.
Excuse me.
You have a lot of nerve bringing him on.
All right, we have a lot of nerve bringing you on. If we don't get an indictment, these are Barron's words here, Mark. If we don't get an indictment, there's going to be an explosion. We're not the only ones who can bleed. Maybe the rest of us need to get a shot off. You're lucky we want to even talk. Those are your words. Now, is he inciting a riot, Mark Furman?
Well, I think it would be. I think he's crafting the words very carefully. You know, representing kind of a broad spectrum of. I'm not sure it would be a threat or a passionate response.
There's going to be an explosion. We're not the only ones that can bleed. The rest of us need to get a shot off. That's not inciting violence.
You didn't say what he wanted you to hear.
Sean, when you incite a riot, there's very specific comments made with the president's ability to do that. And so I think what the greater point here is, instead of doing that, I think everybody should realize that when I saw the tactics in this shooting, they were a dog and pony show. And if we went through this, I think Mr. Barron's position would be supported by facts. Now, I would love to be able to support the tactics, but I fail to see. From what
I understand that, Mark, but can police officers make a mistake, and does it then become criminal?
No,
well, you know, Sean, if you could let me just say one thing, and I think everybody out there would understand that every round that's fired, the officer that fires those rounds has to be responsible for his probable cause for a life-threatening situation in which he responds that way.
And there are two issues. There are two issues here, and you know what? The grand jury's had 2.5. Hang on a second. I'm going to you now. Relax. Relax. 2.5 months of testimony. We had 60 witnesses, so the grand jury is going to hear it. That's one issue. The second issue is you.
I'm not the issue.
You are a racist. You are inciting violence. There's going to be an explosion. You are supposed to be a leader.
Don't tell me what I'm supposed to be.
You are supposed to be a leader.
You are the last person.
You are a racist.
You are a protector of racism, and that's all you ever do. The bottom line
the rest of us need to get a shot off. You're going to shoot a cop?
The policies say that you're not supposed to shoot at a moving vehicle. Right. The policy says you're supposed to shoot 3 times, assess the situation, and then shoot again.
Maybe the rest of us need to get a shot off.
The bottom line
you want somebody to shoot a cop?
Are murderers, and they should be convicted of attempted murder,
you don't believe in innocent
for manslaughter.
You don't believe
they should be convicted of reckless endangerment, and all 5 of them acting in
We're almost out of time. I want to get this last question to you. Here's what: if somebody listens to your words, if somebody, that's what we should be calling for. Let me ask the last question. If somebody listens to your words, and somebody says, when he says the rest of us need to get a shot off.
The bottom line is
and if somebody shoots a cop, and if somebody shoots a cop,
did get a shot off.
I think you're responsible.
You can think what you want to think, because nobody cares what you think.
Oh, I care.
The bottom line is that they got 50 shots off already.
You're inciting a riot.
They got 50 shots off already. They got 41 shots off.
You're a disgrace.
You
are a disgraceful human being.
Protector of racism, and you always have been.
You're the biggest racist. Want to slap me to feel better?
We thank you both. We thank you, Mark. We thank you, Charles.
Point blank, it should have been shot at. And Fox News, or this particular segment of Hannity and Combs, rather than talk about the real issue, they've made a big media storm over the people rallying support for the right thing. Trying to turn this into some sort of a circus on whether someone's inciting a riot or not. I mean, is that a real issue? The person, first of all, Sean, and I'm talking like as if I know the person, but it's wrong regardless. Someone getting shot, okay, on the eve of their wedding, doing practically nothing wrong, okay, and losing their lives is wrong.